Start us off, Callum.
Hey, welcome back to Castpod. I'm tired. I just flew in from Pennsylvania, and boy, are my arms tired.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Glad you did that instead of me because I do not have the capacity to my volume today.
I'm basically dying right now, and I still got a little of that old
He's got that
Hollywood
chutzpah.
razzmatazz in me.
Yeah, rest in peace to Carter, but welcome back to Castpod. And we're here
Yeah,
for
that
another
could be it.
episode. We got the whole gang here today. Introduce yourselves, gang.
I'm
Tom.
Carter.
Okay, we did
I was hoping it would all go at the same time. I really wanted the chaos.
Both of them. Kevin was the missing link there. I'm Tom. Hello.
I'm still Kevin. I specifically waited because I knew
Carter
that's what
here.
Callum was planning.
I waited a second and I thought Carter would jump at the opportunity like immediately, and then when he didn't, I'm like, okay, now I should take my chance. And then he just
Now is my time.
Exactly.
Time.
I just roll in like a pipe bomb.
You do what?
Yeah, we're all back. I feel like we have this tradition of being like, all right, we're going to get some episodes in, we're going to record, and then either a major holiday happens or one of these jabrones is like, I got to go study geckos in the south of France.
I hate when you guys do that.
It was one time, and I told you I was sorry.
Those chain-smoking, beret-wearing geckos. Who gave them the berets? They can't sew. Their brains don't have the capacity to understand the concept of thread.
This anecdote
they
is
have
just so that Carter can in French.
I am complicit in that.
Yes. I don't think we had an episode topic, but would you all like to share what you did for the holidays?
Yeah, let's do a holiday episode.
Okay. I got a dog.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
Kevin got
true.
a fucking dog.
Yeah.
Old Beck.
Yes, his given Christian name is Beckerel Gorthalax the Destroyer of Worlds, first of his name, last of his bloodline. But we call him
Belligans.
Beck. Yes. But we call him Beck for short, because that's a lot easier to spell.
He is a little cutie.
Mm-hmm.
I met him. He's adorable.
Yeah. Liked Tom. Did not like Logan.
It was very funny.
it's relatable.
Oh, damn.
Kidding.
Could it be that
only viewers, bro?
Oh.
Could it be that he smelled like 7,000 animals on Logan, including ones that are not necessarily allies to canine kind?
Nah,
Maybe, but by that logic, he would have smelled my cats.
Here's what I think it is. I think he doesn't like generic white dudes.
I'm surprised I don't fit that category, but hey, I'll take it.
You're like, I thought it was gonna be a height thing because I was expecting him to bark at you too, Tom. But I think like the shorter hair, like short beard or no beard white dudes is what he thinks is more scary. But we're working on it.
He's afraid of the majority.
Yeah.
I thought I would be for sure the one he barked at because when I first met Aaron's dog, he was a puppy and he barked at me, and it was the first time they'd heard him bark.
I got it.
And he hasn't really barked at anyone else aside from like other dog when he's like whining, but like a bark, like a dominance bark or like a back away bark when I first met him. Now he loves me, but I was for sure thinking I was about to get the old bark treatment.
Yeah, I got a text from my wife saying that's not his name.
Well, here's the challenge.
Believe it.
Editing in
Can
real
you
time.
spell it?
No. I can barely.
That's how you know that's how it works.
I can't even spell Beckerel. I can't.
Beckerel. It's like mackerel, right?
I don't know.
I was about to
say
I think there's a Q in it.
Like BEQUEREL.
Kind of the root of the problem here, isn't it, Kevin?
Quebec rule.
Beckerel. No, it can't. Carter inexplicably does not want to meet Beck. We don't know why.
All right, I got it from the wife. It is BECQUEREL.
That was close.
Huh.
So it's like Beck Squirrel.
Beck Squirrel. Good old Beck Squirrel.
Oh. All right, that's actually kind of cute.
Yeah.
Yes. So there is a new animal on this planet. Wait, no, that's
Just
not how
spawned
pet
in.
ownership
No,
Yep.
works.
he's like 3 years old. He's been on this planet.
It's like I assumed all pets were like a Crata character thing, where once you put in the stats, they just apparate.
Then are you telling me you didn't just type r/wolf or r/dog and he didn't just show up? Like, oh, you want in creative mode for that?
No, I surprisingly didn't. Also, r/ is definitely the subreddit.
Oh shoot, I messed it up. I'm a fraud. Can you tell I don't play Minecraft? It's / whatever.
Yeah.
That's how we know he's a furry, because he goes to r/wolf. In
No.
other news, this holiday season.
I'm
This
being
holiday season, the
slandered.
time of giving and being nice to people.
I'm
Yeah.
being slandered.
Is it slander, Tom?
Yes.
If I go to
Listen, we have
r/dog
other
or
wolf shirts, but
r/wolf right now.
I have never been on r/dog or r/wolf.
You underscore furry Tom has
Stop it.
posted.
I've been on r/ape and r/monkey. But r/ape is a very unfortunate name for it, so I try not to go there when I have a question.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
r/wolf has changed to r/wolves. And it is actually all about wolves.
It's because there's two of them inside of you.
And they're both gay.
Go on, Callum. Tell us about your Galapagosian adventure.
So I went to the Galapagos. That's my thing. I left and went to Ecuador for a couple days first, and then went to the Galapagos Islands just for vacation. Explored around multiple islands, took a ton of photos, I think over like 1,000. And I will post each individual one on my Instagram. So follow my Instagram, subtle plug. It's the same name as my Twitch name, which is on the screen, Calamander. But
it's awfully assumption of you that it's on the screen, but it is.
I've seen the screen. So yeah, it was an amazing trip. I could do a whole podcast episode just explaining Galapagos, and I plan on it. So be prepared for that. And then I was home for 2 weeks and just hung out with the fam and the friends over the holiday season. That's what I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not following that up. Kevin, you have to go. Or Martin, you have to go.
I was gonna say, Kevin got a dog. That's about
Kevin
it.
already went. I really
Yeah.
put myself into a hole by joining a podcast with three guys who all have that's not their name.
Yeah, so I was a little wayward this holiday season. I was kind of trying to figure myself out. So when the opportunity came to get on a riverboat and go on Mississippi, I realized I had to jump at the opportunity, and I do mean jump because I was very late. I had to jump across like this little ravine to get on the boat, and it's interesting what you meet out there. You meet a lot of rich men living in their literal ivory towers. You meet a lot of poor man just playing a song for a nickel or a quarter. But you also just meet life, You see things that make you realize how big this place is and, how we're all connected to it, from the littlest flower to the tallest tree. But actually what happened was I got COVID.
Say, is this an American Tale? What are we listening to right now?
Let's try. I thought it was
Yeah,
Milo and Otis at first.
So I was going to go hang out with those guys, but then I got there very late because I was helping my dad with something. And then I'm like, these gastrointestinal problems are a red flag. And then on New Year's Day, I woke up and with the most profound throat pain I'd ever had. And I'm like, well, that's a red flag. And then I tested positive. So mostly I've just been sitting, and I guess the one silver lining is this is the first year I've actually kind of watched all of the movies. Well, not all of the movies, obviously. A lot of movies come out in a year. But like all of the ones that are basically all of the movies that are like hyped for the Oscars or for like award season, I've actually been able to watch them all. This isn't one of those cases of like me quietly being like, I actually haven't seen Color, or I actually haven't seen Moonlight. I actually have seen them all this time.
See, it's a good thing I bullied all of you to go see Godzilla -1.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yes.
was actually a really good one.
I know.
No, for real though, the hype train for the award season is actually starting to pick up. I I don't think the Academy will be cool enough to do it, but it would be very cool to see a Godzilla film is nominated for Best Picture.
They won't do it.
Yeah, they don't have the balls. But yes, and boy howdy, I regret doing all of the animated films that came out this year before like the quote unquote adult movies, because there's nothing like going straight from Killers of the Flower Moon to Oppenheimer. 6 uninterrupted hours of mankind's barbarism toward each other.
Yeah, but then you could also go from Ruby, Billman, Teenage Kraken to Barbie.
Yeah,
Is Barbie
I thought
considered
about
a kids movie?
I
don't know.
Nominally.
I mean, there are some adult jokes, but it's like I kind of view it in the same way that like movies like Elf get away with stuff, where it's a kid-friendly concept, but there are
I
adult
feel
jokes
like
hidden in there.
I feel like it's more geared towards young adults to adults, like with the overarching themes and stuff.
That's true. Yeah, I feel like a kid would doze off when it starts getting to the really
'Cause they're
metaphysical
like,
part.
I'm 8. I don't know what sexism is.
That's true.
Hot take. Like, it was a good movie, but very overhyped in my opinion.
Kevin sexist?
I was saying, Kevin, the man in the room is like, the movie about the women is mid.
No, I was just like, everyone kept talking about it, so I was expecting like this stellar movie that like would knock my socks off, and it was just like, all right, this is a movie.
Well, in order to
wasn't
understand
bad.
Barbie, you have to have a master's degree in quantum physics and.
I thought you were going to say that. I was going to say, I thought that's
Well,
where you
I
were
chose
going
the
with that.
taste watch, and Callum decided to be a fucking filthy swine.
Well, yeah, I am an ally.
I mean, he does have a kind of a point, though, right? Like, a Barbie movie is obviously not made for us.
Yeah.
It is made for women. Specifically, it seems like it was made for young adult women. So,
I do think it's
and
funny
Greta Gerwig stands.
how many like men I've heard of that were like offended by it, and I'm like,
I love that.
wow, you're the
No,
problem. Ha
it's-
ha ha.
Like, the amount of posts I've seen on Reddit of like just on the front page of like, my husband's not talking to me because we watched the Barbie movie together, or like, we were trying to watch the Barbie movie and he just got up and left in the middle of it. It's like, I watched the full movie and it was a good movie, but I was just like, everyone's talking about it's like the new Cat's Pajamas. Now when people were talking about that with Godzilla -1, I was same level of skepticism, and then I saw it and I was just like, well, damn, that was a really good movie.
I was as much of a Godzilla super fan as I am. I was also skeptical. Well, no, Barbie was a pleasant surprise. I thought it was going to be good. I actually thought it was really, really good. I don't know if I would put it like it's the best movie of the year, but it was really funny. Especially because I know guys who are like what Ken and them become halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
So seeing them make fun and poke fun at that,
I loved
like,
the
watch it was really
meta-ness of
funny.
it all.
Exactly. Godzilla, like, I've been scorned before. Like, obviously, I love all Godzilla movies, right?
Honestly,
but
possible
it actually being a great like film
if
to
you
be considered for like Academy Awards is kind of insane to me.
if you take out Godzilla from that movie, obviously things would be considered irrelevant, but it would still make a great post World War II movie.
It would, yeah. It actually didn't shy away from a lot of the themes, and like because it was made in Japan. Like the only other Godzilla movie that comes close to that in terms of, I guess, Academy-ness. Well, that Shin Godzilla, which came out in Japan in 2016, which is also really good, but it's more of a mockery of Japanese politics than it is a commentary on World War II and the US's involvement in that. So I really like this there. Yes, go ahead.
As someone who hasn't seen this movie, in the post-credit scene, does Oppenheimer show up and be like, "You're not ready for bomb number 3," and then there's like to be continued?
Yes.
Wait, are you talking about which movie are you talking about?
For Godzilla.
For Godzilla.
You ever seen Godzilla, bro?
No.
I will say there is one scene in Oppenheimer that feels like a. There is one scene in Oppenheimer that feels like a superhero movie. where he like puts on his hat and pipe as if he's like donning the mask.
I do know what you're talking about.
And then he bangs
Where I'm like,
Florence,
yeah, where I'm like, wow, this is very
No,
oddly
certainly.
shot. Why
Of
did
course, you
they
saw
do
that
this?
movie.
Yes,
I mean-
sir.
Look, my personal favorite of the year is still Asteroid City, which, much like Oppenheimer and Barbie, is a movie about going into the
It's
desert
so
and wondering why
confusing.
you make anything.
I haven't even seen it. It's a Wes Anderson
is-
movie, right?
It is.
Yes, it has a lot of framing devices, which create layers of like metaphor and theme that can get confusing. This is also a banger year, I realized, for framing devices. For some reason, this was just the year every director was like, I'm going to do a framing device in my movie. Because like Barbie has a narrator, Oppenheimer has the idea that 90% of the story is told in these like these hearings. Like,
Which I actually didn't
Astro-
like, but that's for later.
It does make it a little jumpy for me.
This is just
I mean, I
the
love
episode now, by the way. We're,
Yeah.
Right,
this is
How does
um,
the show
we're gonna get
work?
to my Christmas plans because nothing really happened. But
Well, I was going to say, do you want to say your Christmas plans if we're just going to continue down the road of pontificating on movies?
sure, I worked until like the 16th. Then I frantically shopped for Christmas for a few days. Then I was getting my cats. I got my cats' blood drawn because they're going to be in a research project, and then
Ooh.
which I am now a part of. That's the data analysis, and then I came back to Pennsylvania to visit the guys, and also because my fiance had her bridal shower, so I was helping with that. And then came
Sounded
home,
fun.
got sick, not COVID, just sick. And then was better exactly one day before I had to go back to school. So
Nice.
play some Pokemon. There you go.
Um,
So anyway, Oppenheimer. So at the end of Godzilla, when he says, "I put the Op in that Heimer," what did you guys think?
That's
Sounds
what I'm
pretty wild.
saying.
oh, right. But yeah, like, so to give you a sense, Tom, for Asteroid City, the idea is Asteroid City is a play in the movie. So the idea is it's like you're watching a performance of this play. And that kind of, the idea that this is like a play and that all the people portraying this are actors kind of plays into a lot of the themes of the movie. Oh, yeah. Killers of the Flower Moon weirdly has a framing device at the very end where, like, sort of the resolution of the, sort of the epilogue is a true crime-esque scenario. I won't spoil too much more about it, but it's really, really cool and emotionally devastating.
I just wanted
It's
Asteroid
all
City to be
Oscar bait is.
funny, though.
What?
Like,
It's really funny. What are
It
you
was
talking
not.
about?
It
It was so
not.
funny.
There were like parts. I didn't laugh a single time. I think there was one time where like air barely left my nose.
Oh,
But,
you'll love
like,
the air nose.
It was mostly just
Yeah.
like moments where I'd be like, "That's funny."
That
But I
the
would never
freaking
like.
alien design is one of the funniest things I've seen in a movie. It looks like a Courage the Cowardly Dog villain. Like it looks like something that's going to
Yeah.
like it looks like something that's going to turn Eustace's skin inside out for being mean to a dog.
Yeah. No,
Air
I could.
design
Yeah, I
could
could
only
see
go
that.
so far, Carter.
Exactly.
Like Ed and Eddie are funny, but it's not because of the way they look; it's how they act.
I think the funniest joke in the whole movie was the one that they showed in the trailers. It was not a spoiler. Of Scarlett Johansson talking to the main character and saying, "I've done a nude scene. Do you want to see it?" And he just stares at her. And then he said, "Did I say yes?" She said, "You didn't say anything." He said, "I meant to say yes." That was the funniest part for me. That's when I
It's
went,
really funny.
yeah. So,
All right.
but the
That's
rest
not
of it
even
was
the
just
funniest part
weird
of
and I
that
couldn't get
scene.
it. What?
All right. Well, I'm writing the
What's
next
that
Disney
noise?
Desk episode is going to be
What a lot.
going crazy
Sounds like
about it.
Crash Bandicoot.
I look
Mr.
forward to it.
Slowly.
But yeah, honestly, kind of a banger year for movies. I am very curious.
Well-
It's going to be very tough for the Academy to narrow it down this year. Like
There
this
were
is a
some
year where
good
it really
movies,
is like
but there were also some bad movies. Or I guess I should say movies that did not live up to. You haven't seen it.
Yeah, I know.
Like I know I'm extremely biased, but it actually is good. But there are movies that did not live up to the expectation,
Like what?
like Wish.
No, I never
Or-
saw
oh,
it.
you did end up seeing Wish.
No, I just watched it. I just listened to the Disney Desk, so I know Carter's opinions on it.
Ah.
I think I have talked more about Wish on like live air than anyone on the planet.
You really
outside of
have.
people who made it. I think there's like a 40-minute bonus episode I did that Sydney still hasn't posted, and I'm working
What's
on a whole piece comparing it to the Mean Girls musical.
All I know is that I was in Walmart and they had an entire case of Wish merch that was like discounted, and I'm like, damn. Like, if this was like Encanto or Soul or anything else, like this would be not discounted right now. But I feel
No, they
like
went out of their way to just be like,
Yeah,
we
they
might have made a mistake.
Yeah, they just completely botched the marketing of it. Well, they botched the marketing of it, and then like once the narrative among like YouTube animation people became this sucks, fuck this, which is also partially a jab at Disney because Bob Iger became the face of the strike. Like they just never were able to turn it around. You know, it's you
I
got
will
you got to
say,
sell people on the magic of the movies, and you didn't sell people on the magic of the movies.
well, they
Little
tried to write
Timothy
their
Chalamet
legacy.
did though.
Oh, yeah, that's well. We'll talk about Wong in a second, but for those of you at home who can't see the screen, I do have to point out for no competing interests that Carter's Discord icon is the Wish star.
Yep,
So
that is true.
whatever he says, he obviously is coming from a place of liking like
He's
general
completely
themes of the movie.
unbiased.
He's completely unbiased. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Look, all I'm going to
He's
say is
biased in the
that
wrong
Little
direction.
Wishing Star is the most Cartery character they have ever made. He is a sparkly little mute scamp who does shenanigans and hijinks, and also he's a star, and I like stars.
Mute.
I'm glad
Well,
we're all in
no, he
agreement
makes a
on
lot
the
of
mute
like
Right
sound
star.
away.
effects. Well, he makes other people talk. That's his thing. Like there's like a song that's him giving all the animals the ability to speak, and they break out into song. So
Listen, there are two characters in all of fiction that have watched and I see Carter only, and they are Spot from the Spider Verse and Usopp from One Piece, and those are the only two where I'm like, this is Carter.
well, I don't know that one, but when I find out, oh, I'm gonna be mad.
Nah, you love him.
Those are the only two characters where I'm like, this is Carter to a T. You know.
Oh, man, that's great. Another movie I saw the Iron Claw movie, which was a wrestling movie.
Oh shit, you saw it?
I saw it. It was, let me tell you, it was accurate to their family, like as accurate as they can make it be, while still making it a decent movie. And I was very confused by the demographics that were at that theater with me. So I went like at 5 o'clock on a weekday, and I saw a usual crowd of like there was like a couple. It was like me showing up 30 seconds before the movie starts because I'm a firm believer that you can show up to a movie scheduled 20 minutes late and not have to worry about missing anything. And I was right. Didn't even miss like the opening scene. Previews are a scam. And
No, these are cool. Shut up.
I saw like a bunch of like older dudes, like at minimum 50 years old, sitting like in like chatting right at the beginning, and I'm like, all right, these guys are fans. And then I saw like an odd amount of like at most 25-year-old girls, and I was just like, this is weird. Because
Zac Efron.
I was say Zephron was in it, shirtless, obviously.
I was gonna say women like wrestling question.
Yeah,
mark?
no, but it was like
what has the Barbie movie done?
It was.
Here we go.
It wasn't a matter of that. It was a matter of I was like, do they not know how this is going to go? Like, I can understand like the older crowd liking to see it, but I was just like, do they not know how cursed this family is and how bad you're gonna feel at the end of this? And the answer was no, based off of their reactions to some of the things.
Well, that's the damnedest thing. Like, I was listening to a podcast and someone said, like, yeah, I realized none of my family knew the story, so they were all like completely mortified at how bad it got. To the point where they cut out another brother who also had a terrible fate.
Yep. So there is, I think there's a total of 6 brothers, in the Von Erich wrestling family. And I can do a Kevin Explains Wrestling about them specifically to really get into deep detail about it. And they are regarded as one of the most cursed families in the world of wrestling.
Well, I was going to say, what about the Kennedys?
Yeah, not the Kennedys. So I severely underestimated the age range. Not the age range, but like, so there is 6 sons, all born between 1952 and 1969. So pretty much our parents' generation. Only one of them made it to the year 2000.
Oof.
Jesus
And it was the
Christ.
second oldest. It was crazy because it's a family of quality talent, but then it was just like really bad instances and stuff, and just things that they couldn't handle on their own.
Yeah, what was it, like drugs, car accident, assassination
Everything.
attempt? Yeah.
Well, maybe not assassination
You are
attempts,
stuck on a charity thing.
but one of them,
Motorcade,
The
Yeah.
grassy knoll, something of them.
yeah,
magic bullet.
yeah, one of them was doing great. One of the most popular guys at the time. He went to Japan where he died because his intestines more or less exploded.
Oh, you told me about this before.
Yeah. Another one, the not the main one that's played by Zephron, but like the most popular one in America, Kerry Von Erich. He got into a motorcycle accident and lost his foot, and
Thanks.
then he wrestled on one foot that nobody really knew about for a handful of years. And then it was like within a year of him and his wife separating, on his family ranch, he just shot himself in the chest.
Yikes.
Purpose or accidentally?
Oh, intentional. That was an intentional suicide. Another one had a really bad like head injury.
I guess we should have started this in the beginning of this, but warning for those who for sensitive content, um, for trauma or anything like that. In case,
Thank you, Tom.
sorry about not
Yeah.
having that warning ahead
warning.
of time, but
Yeah.
trigger warning, yes.
Like halfway through.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody gets triggered by Kennedy, like, come on. But
Yeah. Yeah.
Kennedy's old news.
Us who believed in the
Kennedy's
dream
old
of
news.
Camelot, Thomas.
it is a silly place. Go on, continue.
The,
Next around
the,
table.
old, the oldest died at 6 years old because he stepped on got electrocuted and drowned in melting snow.
That's such a
Jeez.
wild combination.
All of
He
these
got
are-
electrocuted and drowned,
Yeah.
and it was in snow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what the heck?
It
This
was
is like some
nuts.
Mission Impossible deaths.
It really was. But it was just, there's like arguably one of the most cursed families ever.
Sounds like that one guy. What was he in? He was in the Star Trek reboots. He was like
Zach
the smart
Galifianakis.
kid. No.
Will Wheaton?
Will Smith.
Maybe no. He was like a young guy. And he
are you
played like one of the
Are you talking reboots or are you talking like next generation?
reboots.
Okay.
Timothy
Like the
Chalamet.
20 like 11 ones.
Oh, Chris Pine.
That movie set, but not that guy.
Who did
There
he
was
play, Spock?
one. Oh my god.
Was it JFK?
I don't want you to talk. I just want to figure it out.
I know you want to figure it out, but you're not going to figure it out without
Zachary
clues.
Quinto?
That's Spock.
John Cho.
He played
Oh my God.
Siler in the Heroes TV show, which I enjoyed a lot.
Y'all are gonna make me go.
Oh, make me lose my
I'm gonna have to start a new enterprise
Up
after
in
this.
here,
Anyway,
up in here.
the I think he was like a Data guy. I can't remember. It wasn't Data. It was somebody. I forget what his name was. It's like Kerchef, I think was his name in the movies.
Kerjak?
But the actor.
Kerchak, the gorilla father of Tarzan.
I'll finally accept you as
We
a
eat orange. You eat orange. You give me. I eat you.
Give me eat orange, you give.
The actor who played this guy like was down his driveway and like his car like his emergency brake went up and the car ran him and pinned him in between the mailbox and then like electrocuted him because it was like the hood was
Yikes.
open and like he died and he was like 23 something
Yeah.
crazy.
It was
And I remember watching it. I remember reading about that. I'm like, oh my god, this is like
it was Anton Yelchin, and
that's his name.
he died at 27.
27. Okay,
Jeez.
no, pretty close. But yeah, his like car pinned him to. I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was a mailbox.
It was a
in
security
Manhattan.
fence.
Security fence. That explains it. Okay. Yep.
What a wild way to go.
Yeah.
Anybody else
Anyway.
got any like Final Destination celebrity deaths that they want to bring up?
So the Queen died.
No, but I do want to bring up the fact, sort of. I mean, Mission Impossible and Fear Factor are probably as distant as you could be, but I feel like Fear Factor like takes a lot of things from Mission Impossible. It's like, could you survive being tortured? I did not know that Joe Rogan hosted Fear Factor.
It's so funny that you just realized this.
What
I didn't know. I didn't know
This
that
was
he
a
was
heavy
anybody.
conversation with us all the other day, guys.
I saw it on Erin. Erin showed me something on Instagram, and she was like, "Is this Joe Rogan?" And I'm like, "I guess." And then we looked, and it was, and I'm like, "It was from like 2011."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What? He wasn't just like a crazy conservative talk show host the whole time? I thought he was just like a radio guy."
Nah,
Turns out, not only that, he was like a fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Rogan has had like a weird, like he was a UFC commentator. I know that. I don't know if he fought,
That's
but
just
it had.
wild.
Oh yeah, there was like a wild thing. There was also round 2 of Fear Factor came out 3 times. It was
True, yeah.
2001, and then another iteration came out 2000 or 2011, and then MTV came out with a version in 2017. That one was hosted by Ludacris.
Isn't there also one hosted by Tracy Morgan at one point?
Maybe as a guest.
Or am I thinking of something else? I'm pretty sure it was Fear Factory. Fear Factor.
Yeah.
But maybe they switched up hosts on one of the originals. But anyway, continue.
No, that was it. Actually, I was talking about Fear Factor with my coworkers, and it was just like, I have no doubts in like, because one of the things they would do is like, oh, you have to lay in this coffin filled with snakes,
Mm-hmm.
and I would be the worst person for that because I'd be like, all
Yeah.
right.
I remember I'd say the same
True.
thing whenever they had those like lay in a bathtub full of cockroaches or whatever. I'd be like, okay.
All right, or my pants
I would
filled
be
so nobody
totally
calls them
fine.
junk.
Unless it was worms. If it was worms or slugs, I couldn't do it. But if it was like,
Really?
Tom's not a big worm
yeah,
guy.
I don't know if you knew this, Carter, but I am
Worm guy.
terrified of worms. Like,
I did
not
not know
scared, like run away from them, but I can't. I can't look at them. I can't touch them. I just have had this thing from. It kind of goes for caterpillars, though. I'm kind of getting used to them because they're like more fuzzy.
They
But
got legs.
worms and slugs and snails can't do it. I just can't do it. I don't know why. And it's not like I'm averse to slimy things, right? Like I'm fine with toads and salamanders and frogs and everything else. It's just worms. I just don't like them.
Hmm.
So if you're ever taking a personality quiz about me, and one of the answers is what is Tom afraid of, there you go.
Is that
Well,
a
when I
plan?
win the next Tom trivia competition, I'll look like a
I
shit.
mean,
I thought
we
next
could.
Tom game was don't
You laugh, you lose.
Yeah, you laugh, you lose.
Yeah, that is gonna happen.
I can't wait.
I'm very close to finishing that. I'll probably finish the playlist this
I'm
weekend, and then we'll
definitely
do it.
gonna lose. Notice,
I mean, my humor is most similar to Callum and Kenny Max, I think. So those two are dead in the water, but you might have a chance.
I'm training. Don't worry.
You are not training.
I've
Laughing
been
right now,
watching
see?
You Laugh, You Lose for years, bucko.
Yeah, but it's not. Some of these videos are not ones that you've seen before.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I
I want some new content.
I gotta find the video. I saw a video that had like something that I was like, I gotta send this to Tom to add to the thing because it's the most one.
Yeah,
of those,
please
like,
do. I'm taking
absurd.
submissions.
Hell yeah.
Because the way I see it, if it's funny enough for you to send it to me, that means you at least laughed at it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So seeing it again, you might just have the anticipatory laugh, and that counts.
Well, oh, crap. Yeah, there's also the Pokemon NFL League that I've been.
Oh yes.
I kind of started doing, and I've been collecting stats of all the Pokemon out there to like give them true, good old fashioned like this is where this person would be ranked.
That's gonna take a while.
Yeah, I'm partially through Gen 1. Not even so. It's gonna be a minute for that to happen.
I'm assuming you're only doing fully evolved.
I'm
right?
only doing fully evolved Pokemon. So
Come on, what about Eviolite Dusclops? He's got to be on there.
Nah,
that is
Get him
far too much
hands.
work. Far too much work. And then I'm also I ruled out any like legendaries, mythicals, ultra beast, and stuff like that. Like things that are just would make it unfair. Cause I'm sorry, do
Soul
you
would be
want to
such a
fight
good quarterback.
freaking like speed Deoxys as a running back?
No, that's why I want him on my team.
Yeah. You get Derrick Henry so you don't have to play against Derrick Henry.
Sounds like I want Rayquaza,
I
Deoxys,
do.
Mewtwo.
Mega Rayquaza specifically.
You are so.
But
This man used Jirachi in his Pokemon playthrough on to let
And I'll
everybody
do
know
it
that.
again. And
Yeah,
I
no,
will
that's-
do it again.
But that's gonna be like a long-term project in the way future.
Yeah, that's that's an interesting question. What projects do you guys have prepared or working on for the podcast? I feel like we
You
have a
think I'm
lot of
prepared?
mini series. What was that?
You think I'm prepared?
Well, no, I mean if you when it's time to start working on things, what do you have in mind, kid?
Like
Uh,
outside of
hmm.
for you, I guess you guys were talking
Ranking
about
primates.
ranking primates could be funny, but I was
Castpod ranked primates.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. I will not be ranking them, but I would like to see what you guys think. And then I will give you background
that could
information
be
on them.
funny. We each get to ask. We only get
Monkey
to ask
madness.
one question about the entire species for Tom. Tom, if you set up that tier list maker, I'll do it.
Okay.
Because I don't know how many primates you want in that, and I don't want to
Well,
learn
yeah, I
more
don't think
to
there'd be a
skew my
reason to do like,
opinions.
here's this tamarin versus this tamarin. It would be like one of each type, you know?
No, I'm excited. Kevin and Carter talk football going pretty strong. We're in the playoff weeks.
Oh,
It's true.
yes.
I've not done any of the descriptions for those. I did get all the way up through descriptions for Castpod games, though.
That's
So
good. Yeah. And then Carter and I were talking about possible like off-season ideas, and it might be Kevin and Carter drink beer,
what?
Nice.
where we
Just
just
find
drink
interesting
beer
beers and talk about them.
and we rank them.
I can't wait to hear Carter going with his drink on the mic.
Yeah.
We play with this man every night. And when he drinks a soda, he sounds like a gerbil. I'm just gonna have to say it.
Well, okay. No, but my microphone on my computer is
No.
much lower than my microphone. No, just listen.
I'm picking on you
Oh.
specifically because I don't think Kevin is capable of sipping alcohol. I think he just downs it.
Just inhale it.
It's just like Patrick with the cookies. He just,
Look,
Yeah.
I can't help it if a gerbil breaks into my house every night to play video games and have a good time. I can't control that. I'm one man.
Makes
you
a good
know,
point.
yeah, that's a good point. So does that mean, wait, you're the rat king. Does that mean like the gerbil monarch is like your enemy?
Gerbil
I'd
monster.
like to imagine a sort of frenemies energy, like we don't really like each other.
Gerbil
Yeah, it's like
Chev.
Shadow and Sonic. They don't really fight anymore. They never agree, but they usually end up working together.
God,
They
I
would
want a
be into each other
conversation.
a little bit.
I want a conversation with that.
you be
Faker,
quiet right now.
you're the fake. If you're the fake rodent around here,
Yeah, basically.
Didn't
That's
we
kinda-
establish what kingdoms or families or groups of the animal kingdom that we'd be in charge of? Like I said, I would be the crustacean czar because I distinctly remember that.
I don't know if we talked
That
about
sounds
that in this
familiar.
podcast, but we might have been talking about that in
But
giraffes for
should
ideas.
should we do a full conversation? We should do freaking we should play Catan all in character. So I'll be the crustacean czar. Carter could be the rat king. Callum can exist.
I'll be there.
No, he'll be like the snake. I don't know what's a monarchy name that starts with
I was
S.
gonna say Snake Superior.
Oh yeah, that works. Or Lizard Prime, as he likes to call himself.
Yeah,
Yes, Lizard Prime.
And I'll just be the Monkey King, or the Monkey Monarch,
Monkey Monarch's good. I would
the
say
Lemur Lord.
Lemur
The
Lord's
monkey's
a good. I was
paw.
gonna say Monkey Master, but Lemur
The
Lord's a
monkey's
really
tail.
good one.
The monkey.
The monkey.
Repulse the monkey.
This is just all SpongeBob references now.
No, Repulse the monkey is a Shaolin Showdown reference.
I'll repulse your monkey.
Shaolin Showdown.
I almost just threw my phone across the floor.
Okay, can I talk about something really quick? I was looking at old cartoons. So we were perusing. We got that's it. Stars from Aaron's parents, and they had some cartoons on there. Nothing crazy, but they had Yu-Gi-Oh on there, right?
Yeah.
And we were about to switch over to Crunchyroll to watch Jujutsu Kaisen, and I'm like, oh, Yu-Gi-Oh, and she's like, did you watch this one? I'm like, yeah, just put it on for a second because I want to hear the theme song. Turns out that they only have the Japanese version, so the theme song is just some like
Oh, it's
generic Japanese sing-songy thing. It's not even impactful, and I'm like, this is so, and it's to the same.
tune.
No, it's to the same visuals.
Oh, that's
So like when he
hilarious.
smacks the card down, it's like do 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 do. It's like this very like floaty kind of Japanese sing along, and I'm like, this is lame.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
And I looked it up on YouTube because I needed the fix.
Yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a show that got in that era, and I was talking about it at Callum because I was watching Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, where it was in that peak early 2000s era where they wanted to show more anime, but they didn't want to have to put into the work to truly dubbing it or like understanding what they were dubbing.
Yeah.
And Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, they always have the rice balls, and the best bit of the entire show was one time he's just like, somebody came up to him and he's like, "What? You want to go now? Well, I'm holding whatever these things are." And he's just holding the rice balls. It's just like the most painful dubbing possible, and it's in a weird, unwatchable but incredibly watchable zone. I'll send that.
Are you telling me they didn't go the Pokemon route and call them donuts?
No, they did call. I think they called them. They might have called them jelly donuts once. They called them like 5 different things throughout the entire series. It was hilarious.
My dumb ass when I was a kid thought that jelly donuts could look like that. It's
I
like I
was
wanted a cool jelly donut that looks like a rice cake. What the
I
hell?
was very confused at first. When I saw that, I was just like, I want a jelly donut. And then I actually had them like rice balls and stuff as rice balls, and they're phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. And that's going back to what you said about the dubs in that early 2000s. One of the most, and Callan could probably attest to this, is the Ocean dub from Dragon Ball Z, where they got like everything wrong.
Oh heck yeah!
It's like, it's like, what's his power level? Over 8,000 or over, it's like over 900 or whatever they say. It's like completely wrong.
Everything's wrong.
It's like, your father, Kakarot, was a brilliant scientist. He wasn't. That's my favorite one. And it's such a meme in the Dragon Ball community. It's like, oh, Goku's so dumb. It's like, but how could he be? His father's a brilliant scientist.
Yeah. That the
In
four
reality, he's
kids.
just a guy who went against Frieza and died. Like,
You can't say that they were good at dubbing, but they had their moments that were very enjoyable. I mean, the One Piece rap, the Yu-Gi-Oh opening,
One
like
Piece.
they have some bangers out there.
that's true. And Four Kids Sanji is a legend.
Torkid Sanji is my favorite version of Sanji. Him and his lollipop.
I was talking about it with Molly, because we started watching One Piece at like we watched it together for like early middle arc, but we also want like so we like started over, and I was like, we got to the part where they introduced Sanji, and I was just like, I know they won't, but part of me really hopes that the Hulu dub is the 4 Kids version, and get hit by 4 Kids Sanji.
Hey, Luffy.
Zoro.
I love it so much.
And then they DY Namizacha. I'm just thinking about the One
Chopper's
Piece.
doctoring.
Chopper's doctoring. Oh my
So
god.
what other
so funny.
projects are we working on?
Well, of course, Carter explains musical theater. I think
So
Yeah.
ready.
one addition I'm adding is, like, I have the history lessons, like chronological order, but I also like the idea of having just individual musical episodes. So, like, ones you guys want to know about. Mostly because like there's opportunities to talk about like because the Mean Girls musical's in the conversation now, and I actually think there's a lot of interesting like what it means for Broadway that something like this exists sort of energy. So like having that opportunity will be fun. Of course, I'm excited for football to continue into the draft because that's when I get real nerdy. That's like that's my wheelhouse. And then I'm excited to just get back to like explaining anime.
Yes, so we were talking about that, and we're kind of trying to field whether you guys, the audience, however small or large you may be, would be interested in having guests come on to talk about a specific anime. So, for example, our friend Kenny Mac is probably the biggest Attack on Titan fan I've ever met in my life. And we want to do an episode of Attack on Titan because not all of us have seen it. I think only me and Callum have seen it. Kevin, you haven't watched it, right?
No, I watched the first episode and got really bored with it.
I did that with me in high school, but this time I dedicated. And he would be a great person to talk to about this. And then our other friend Joe,
Joe's a newer
has
one.
recently he's a newer one, but I think it'll be really fun to have him on for perspective on My Hero Academia because
He's
most
watching
of
it
us have
fresh.
watched that.
Yeah,
He is watching it fresh. So I think that would be cool to have him on.
I support it. I really want.
And we still have to do Dragon Ball.
I want
So
the
I mentioned.
episode. I mean, we still have to rank them first, right? Was that what it's gonna do first? We were gonna rank them. Me and Carter were gonna rank them blindly, like how you guys did with the football teams, which almost made the playoffs. The two teams you picked.
You were this close.
One
I
of them
know. I
did.
was so close to the Texans getting it. I was hoping
No,
just for the
Texans got
meme.
in. It was New Orleans
The
Saints
Saints
that
did.
didn't get in.
Oh, see, there you go.
They were this
Texans
close,
are.
but the
Look at us.
Panthers decided to score no points against a crazy 9 that they had to meet.
Dang it, Kenny Mac.
Mac holding Callum back once again.
Seriously.
But no, I was gonna say, weren't we planning on doing like a ranked list of that and then going from there?
I'm down for
We
that.
could do that.
I
We
was
could
gonna
do
ask
like
if we
ranking the
could-
arcs.
Yeah, if we should break it up by series and do an anime explained on each series, or just do.
I think we should break it
As
up by
a
series.
whole.
There's too much to do in one episode.
That's what I was thinking.
I would
It'd
say,
be like trying to explain all of One Piece in one
Even though
episode.
nobody cares about Dragon Ball. So
well, the One Piece.
Well, you don't know. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero's coming out. That might ignite some people.
yo, but what even is that?
It's Tenkaichi 4.
Oh. I thought you were talking about the new Dragon Ball series where they're kids again.
Oh no, not Daima. No, I don't care about that. I do not care about that. I want to see more of. We'll never get that.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
I want to see the Goat Man. I do not care about Goku as a child. They already tried that with GT and it was trash.
I know. But yeah. So that'll come eventually.
Dragon Ball characters tier list maker. I'm just seeing if there's like a lot of them. Oh,
I'm sure
there's a
there is.
lot of them.
Probably a lot of them.
Oh, there's a lot.
There's also like some quizzes we could make you take to see. It'd be pretty funny.
It'd be a good time.
But also, I received Switch recording software for Christmas.
Hell yeah.
So we could also do videos in that style for Castpod games. We could do like a Mario Party video. I think that'd be fun.
I've also been meaning to do that. I just don't know how to set it up with my PC setup.
Well, now that I have the recording software, I could just record it. And since it's Mario Party, the perspective shifts to each player no matter where you're recording it on, right? So I think it would be fine.
Because you guys both have Elgatos, right?
I have.
I do not.
It's right next to me. I'm just trying to reach for it. Okay, here we go. It is a XR1 Lite, which is basically an Elgato.
Okay, I know Calm has an Elgato, and I can easily walk him through that. I don't know if I can walk you through that one, Tom, off the top of my head.
I'm gonna work on it this weekend and see if I can get it set up.
We'll look forward to that.
Um.
Hello, Vanessa.
Yeah,
We're just not gonna acknowledge that on the bunch.
We could also play more Uno. I love Uno and chefs. Loved playing Uno. That was a lot of fun.
I think I definitely am itching for a played up stream. because we did really good that or played up recording because we were getting really good at it.
Yeah, I'm down
I'll
to
just
just play it
personify.
as fun.
That
Yeah.
too.
I'll
You
just
don't get to see
personify
what
the investor in the restaurant and occasionally pop in the Discord and be like, "What are you doing? You're costing me all my pearls and clams."
Yeah,
True.
we're a seafood restaurant.
I'm also interested in getting Cuphead for um, Switch.
Oh yes, I need to finally defeat this gosh darn Cuphead. I gotta
And-
beat
Yeah.
Bee Lady. I gotta beat. I actually don't know that many of the bosses. I'm not that familiar with the bosses on the third island. I haven't done too many spoilies for this game, believe it or not.
No spoilies. I just know once I get the game, I'm gonna want to 100% it, like getting A+ on everything, and it's gonna take my life away. I have to finish Devil May Cry first before I do that.
I'm gonna take Tom's life away. Have you guys heard from Tom recently? No, he's been playing Cuphead.
Oh no, he's dead to us. Well, I also just found out that I have a proposal for my summer travel due on February 16th, so I'll probably be working on that pretty heavy too.
Let's go.
But
Where are you gonna summer
Yeah.
travel to?
Madagascar.
I don't know.
Few
I was
weeks.
expecting somewhere differently. But
I mean,
was-
there's a chance that later on in my PhD I might go somewhere else. But for now, I'm going to go see my advisor's field site and help with some mouse lemur research and then get an idea of what the ecosystem is like for my own research.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah,
that's cool as shit.
so we'll see. Busy summer, wedding, and then that. But
Are you going to go on your honeymoon like right after your wedding, or are you gonna
No.
wait?
oh, we're saving the money. We are not going right away. We need to save up money to go to Japan because we need to make it. We have a lot of places we want to hit.
Are you gonna go visit all the One Piece statues that are around Japan?
I'll see if I can squeeze it in though. We already have plans to see like stay in the Godzilla Hotel, go to the Dragon Ball Z Cafe, Pokemon centers. We want to see if we can get to the island of Tsushima. We both love Coast Tsushima. We want to see like the Ghibli Museum,
You gonna go to Shibuya?
the giant Voltron. We're gonna try and go to Shibuya. But yeah, so there's a lot of nerdy shit we're trying to get done.
Love that for you.
Yeah.
And I'm coming too.
And
Oh.
my axe.
Surprise.
Wait,
And I'm hiding in,
That
and
was-
I'm hiding in your suitcase, and I'm gonna have
sorry,
a
the ladies
madcap
dancing
Charlie
like kind of
Chaplin-esque
Cal
adventure.
into Miami.
That was an idea we had. If it's a joke or not, who's to say? But me and Callum are gonna go to Japan and try and take as many pictures of you as possible without getting caught.
That'll be hilarious, but at the same time, if it was just me, you would get away with it. Erin is there, and she's way more observant than I am,
Oh yeah,
and she would definitely find you.
but we wouldn't say where we are. We'd just follow you around with just like trench coats and fedoras and dark sunglasses and newspapers from completely irrelevant times.
We'd be on each other's shoulders, even though we don't have to be. And then we'd be like, that guy's really tall.
Yeah. There's two tall guys in this town.
What's up with these tall guys?
We're always holding up magazine or a newspaper upside down.
That would be the dead giveaway, personally.
And meanwhile, I've gotten in some kind of hijink where I'm working at one of those like roller sushi places where they have like the little
That'll
like
stress me out.
conveyor belt. Yeah, and they're like, you have to make sure all of these sushi orders are ready to go before they get out to the customers.
Yes,
and I'm
chef.
forced to shove salmon and tuna and rice in my mouth because I can't keep up with the orders. And that's
And
what
I
I'm
love
doing.
Lucy. And I love Lucy or Drake and Josh bit.
Yes. Yeah, so that's kind of my energy I would be bringing when we all stow away on your honeymoon.
Yeah, so be excited for that.
Yeah, sure. That's why I goes to Japan.
Carter, Kevin, and Callum Bruno honeymoon.
Cue Always Sunny the music.
That would honestly be the best theme music for that whole endeavor.
Oh yeah. It's like the ultimate goal would be trying to see how close we can get you to you guys without you guys noticing us.
I have a quick question.
Mm.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see the Craig Cabot signature. I just want
I
to double
don't
check.
use Craigbot.
On this episode, Tom finds out that we actually have a podcast. We're not just
No.
chatting amongst ourselves.
Yeah, we really should have stopped him when he really wanted to let us
All
know
right.
how he felt
First
about
of
the
all, you have
voice.
no reason to judge me because the last time we all did this, Kevin's audio didn't record. So me double checking is worth it.
Oh, you're right.
No,
you're
he's right. He's right.
Well, I have a project that I'm going to be working on.
God. Go on.
I want to get back into Castpod conservation. I refound my shirt in my closet, and I was like, I need to record more of these. So I wrote down a few ideas in
Yep,
the
I
ideas
saw them.
channel,
Always
and
down.
I really want to start throwing them out there. Start actually recording a few of them.
I'm
Oh, yeah, I
ready
gotta
when you
still
are.
figure out what my merch is going to be for winning
Yeah,
the
Tom still
Smash
has
Draft.
That's true.
merch coming out. I was gonna bring that up at a point, but you know, Castpod conservation. Calum and I are gonna record it without Tom.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Then why am I in the channel?
It's because I said that, and I figured it would annoy you to wanting to do it.
I mean, it depends on what y'all talking about, but I'll hop in.
We'll talk
Probably
about
just like chimpanzees and stuff.
maybe a lemur or two.
New,
Say like,
better.
is it worth protecting lemurs? Should we let all of Madagascar die? Thoughts?
What if we just heavily develop the entirety of Madagascar and Indonesia?
Yeah, use all the
That
resources.
just reminds me of that image that Carter sent to us in the group chat today. Where we started recording.
Please bomb Iraq.
It's like a 119-year-old politician poorly drawn in a wheelchair with like a gas mask, and it says, "Please bomb Iraq." I just want
Yes,
to mention one more time
hold it-
before I die. Moderate.
Yeah, respectable bipartisan, holding
That's
blood
it,
feast.
respectable
118-year-old. Please just let us nuke Iran. Nothing else matters.
So funny.
Oh god, every time that makes me chuckle. Oh good lord. Now I'm just thinking of other comedic hijinks. Well, there's a fine line between a lovable scamp in another country or being like the iCarly cast and just being kind of racist.
Is that their fault though, or was that Dan Schneider's fault?
Oh, that was
Well, that's
absolutely Dan.
Well,
Schneider.
in the universe of the show, I mean, like obviously, like you know, there are a bunch of kids on a show. They're not held responsible for the jokes they had to tell. Yeah. No, I mean, like in the logic of the universe, there's a handful of Japanese people who are like, "My God, what was wrong with those iCarly kids?"
Yeah, they kind of sucked.
Right?
Well, it's like when
They sucked, right?
It's like when Phineas and Ferb went to Japan, and Candace gets stuck in this like caramel dancing-esque like video where they're doing a very similar dance to it, and caramel dance is from like Sweden and not Japan.
Yeah.
Not nearly as bad as the iCarly thing, but just an
No.
interesting like grasp on how producers for like kid shows in the US have no idea where anything comes from.
Yeah, it's one of those like
Jelly donuts.
yeah, cue the jelly donuts. I gotta try and find that clip specifically, but it's
I'm
like
holding whatever these things.
it's funny watching older shows that like we were still alive for when they came out, like the episode came out, and it's just like wow, comedy's really like changed and stuff, and like,
Oh yeah.
like the secretly hidden but not super hidden homophobia from our youth is still like it's like oh yeah, this is a great show, and then it's just like you ain't gonna catch me kissing no dude, or and it's just like ooh.
Someone did a series that was just going back to early 2000 stuff and being like, man, there really was a lot of transphobia in this shit, wasn't there?
Transphobia too.
But I digress. I'm just gonna get into slapstick hijinks that come from like misunderstandings.
I would love to know how you're planning on doing slapstick on a podcast.
Well, Carter's gonna do a visual aspect. He's gonna step on a rake. Walk around with a giant plank.
I'll stand on top of like a door, do a triple somersault, and land directly on my hoo-haws, the Mike Wazowski.
The old Mike Wazowski.
You're definitely saying words. Congratulations.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I do on this show. I bring the words. Tom brings the
Go on.
You know, Tom.
Go
Well, I was
on.
going to say Tom brings the insight.
I thought you were going to
Cal
say
brings
inches.
the class.
Tom brings the incels.
I was going to say because he's tall.
Just because I listened to a podcast on the drive down to PA about the Unabomber being an incel does not mean I am one.
No, we're leaving that be.
That's gonna be a discussion for me to just learn all about, and at some point
You would think it's more interesting than it is. It was such a boring podcast. Because they talked to like the guy who caught the Unabomber, but he's like 80 something now, and he's just a rambly old man.
And he's got zero riz. That's what he was.
I mean, yeah. I've watched the King of. I've watched Steiner Math happen.
It down sexual style.
If you want to listen to a rambly old man, I know a guy.
Perfect.
Also, my grandfather exists still, so if you want to listen to a different rambly old man,
get him on the pod.
Get him on the pod.
The one when we were talking about Molly and I actually having like a wedding, and not getting married by Danny in our living room. We were that was the only discussion that we had about it. Was I said, because my goal at every family wedding is to sit as close to him as possible, and because I just laugh the entire time because he has no filter, no censor, and no mute button. He once wore a Christmas tie to a funeral, and in the middle of the funeral, there was apparently a button in it, and it just started playing a Christmas song out of his tie in the middle of the funeral.
Oh my god,
that's awesome! I hope to be like that one day.
Yeah, but I always want to sit near him, so I said if we have a church wedding, I want him to we'll give him a reserved seat front and center.
Just so you know his thoughts the entire time.
Oh, absolutely. So I can hear him the entire time. I mean, I would have no issue with hearing him regardless, but that's what I want.
That happened at a funeral that I went to. My Uncle John is like one of those guys, and he's always like showing you like weird like porno from like 80s. Like so when I turned like 16 or 17 and I would go to my extended family's Thanksgiving or Christmas, he would always like round up the older guys and be like, "Hey, he's from North Jersey." He goes, "I got something upstairs." And I'm like, "What do you got upstairs?" And he's like, "I got the projector set up." And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, I got this DVD, this naughty DVD. You should come up and look at it. He's like a dirty old man.
Did he get bonked on the head with a coconut and forget that the internet exists?
It's so funny because his wife, my Aunt Peggy, is so like she can't even handle cursing on TV. It's like she's so innocent. But he like showed us he has like this pen where you click it and there's like a girl on it and like her clothes go away when you click it down.
God,
does he refer
to them?
People do exist, huh?
Does he refer to them as nudie mags and nothing else?
Probably. But when it was my grandmother's funeral and he came up to me, he's like, "Look at this," and he starts blasting video of his train set from Christmas that he had already set up. Keep in mind, my grandmother died on Thanksgiving. We had the week the next day, the next week. So he had set up the Christmas train by that point, and he's like, "Look at this!" And also, the entire funeral home was just all of his trains have like.
This guy's pretty epic, huh?
Oh my god, he's so funny. And it's just, and so anyway, we're at this funeral, and he had one of those phones with those ringtones. Where it's like, "Your phone is ringing, so I'll pick it." He didn't pick it up. He just let it go to voicemail. So it's like a minute and a half. It's so funny. My mom was so mad. So funny.
I'll tell you what, though, that brightens up the room.
It was my dad's funeral, and it was the only time I laughed that like entire week. This can't be happening.
God, and that's why we love family here at the Castpod Corporation.
It's really what it's all about, bringing people
Yeah.
together, hand in hand, feeling
I
good.
feel like exposing it because my uncle will never watch this.
So join us next week when Tom's uncle and Kevin's granddad take over Castpod for the week.
But it has a slightly more offensive name than Castpod. It's not us.
We didn't. You can't blame us.
It'll never get posted.
It'll never get posted. We'll just pretend like we're recording and really just be voice call with each other.
Yeah, no. My grandfather will learn one thing about him, and that's the only thing he'll talk to him about for the entirety of his life.
Well, considering my Uncle John is very, how do I say, upfront with his interests, that should go swimmingly.
No. The only thing he talks to my wife about, and it is he learned we were traveling to a family Christmas party, and we picked him up because there's no way this man should be behind the wheel of a vehicle at any given time. And we picked him up, and it was him, my dad, me, and Molly. And the two major topics of conversation, he was amazed at how expensive geckos could be. And couldn't and it's the only thing he talks about with Molly at this anymore. And then we were just talking about alcohol.
Nice.
I mean, at least he chose something that is like geckos are kind of a cornerstone of Molly's personality. Can you imagine if she was talking about something she was into at the time and like doesn't do it anymore?
Oh yeah, no, it's just hilarious because it's like he's just like anytime he sees her, he just goes, so those gecko prices still high. It's like, yeah, they are, Ted.
He's checking the market.
Aha! I bought the numbers from this store.
Yeah.
Lying.
He learned my one cousin's grandfather, he learned would fish in Eastern Europe because that's where he was from. And it's my grandfather's on my dad's side. This cousin's on my mom's side. And every single time they see each other, he asks him about if he's gone fishing in Eastern Europe recently and stuff. And this cousin, not from Eastern Europe. He grew up 5 minutes away from me in Pennsylvania. His grandfather that did that, dead for about a decade now. Anytime he sees him still. So any squids caught in like the Mediterranean? And it's just like, yeah, sure.
You know it.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Yum yum. Squids.
I feel like that's a solid episode, and I really want to play chefs now. So to lead us into possibly dinner time, who do I want to send us home? Let's go.
Who do you want to send us home?
You know what, Tom? You spoke up first. Tom, send us home.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this look at our future projects and our kind of summary of our winter plans were. Look forward to more Castpod Games content and more anime content and musical theater content in the future. We're all back. We're all shackled by our mortal obligations such as school and work, so we are
Did
forced
you say
to be in an area.
obligations?
Yes.
Love
You think
that.
they have school in heaven? I don't think so.
But what about dogs?
Well, yeah, all dogs go to heaven. Their dogs become their halo.
Yeah,
We all know that. That's. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed. Subscribe for more. Follow us on all of our channels on Twitch. We all stream. So if you're looking for more personal gameplay from all of us, that'll be there. We also do collaborative streams sometimes, so be on the lookout for that as well. And yeah,
And we're on Spotify
see you next
now.
time. We are on Spotify now.
Yep. Surprise. So first episode on Spotify.
Let's go.
Hello, Spotify. You are my favorite music streaming service aside from Pandora.
Shut up, bro.
Calum's gonna ruin it for us.
No.
Yes.
Let's
It's
all
like
leave
all
now before
everything.
things get
All
worse.
right, fine. Bye
Fine.
bye.